Before this video starts, I want to give a quick shout out to the YouTube account known as XOFam. This person recently commented on my Black Atlas review that I did last month, and this person said that I look like Cash Amir EXO, which I found really fucking funny. That's the first time anyone has ever told me that. I have never been told that before. It was completely random. It was completely fucking funny. So yeah, shout out to XOFam. You had me fucking dying with that comment. So yeah, thanks for that.
This right here for the number one shit with your number one. You ain't number one.
What is up, my beautiful people? My name is G-Benz and welcome back to my channel. And today we're going to be talking about the new album by NAV entitled Good Intentions. This is the third studio album by NAV, which comes to us about a year since Bad Habits, that came out last year. And this album is pretty much the official follow-up to Bad Habits. Bad Habits, Good Intentions, it all comes together. Honestly, it seems like the EXO record label is making a fucking comeback this year. Back in March, The Weeknd dropped his highly anticipated album, After Hours. That one was really fucking great. And then just last month, Black Atlas dropped his album, Dream Awake. That one was also a really decent album. Now we got NAV with this new album that came out this month, Good Intentions, and I'm pretty sure 88 Glam is about to drop some shit too. So honestly, the EXO record label people are on the fucking grind this year. So NAV once again delivers a project filled with his unique rap style, and I'm gonna be honest with you all for a minute. I at first thought that I was not going to enjoy this album because the first 3 tracks were a really rough one for me. I heard the first 2 tracks and I was like, I don't know about this Chief. I don't know about this one. But after those tracks, as I kept going and going, the album just kept getting better and better. And in my opinion, this album is easily a lot more better than Bad Habits. Don't get me wrong, Bad Habits had its very enjoyable moments and very enjoyable songs, but when you compare that one to this album, I honestly gotta say that this album is probably gonna be the one that a lot of people are gonna talk about and are gonna fucking remember for a very long time. Like honestly, it's that fucking better than Bad Habits. On this album, NAV takes on the rap game in the perspective of a brown boy, as he calls himself a lot throughout this whole album. I promise you, brown boy is gonna be the one word that you hear many times throughout this whole album. And he pretty much shares the life of fame as a brown boy, both the good and the bad, kind of giving everybody a little experience and a little bit of a taste of what it's like to rise to fame and sort of deal with all that shit while you're a brown boy, somebody that people never expect to become as popular as NAV has become. I think what I like the most about this album is that NAV doesn't really focus on making a bunch of catchy basic songs, although I will say that there are a lot of catchy songs on here and a lot of enjoyable ones too, and I have no doubt will be stuck in my head for the next 3 fucking months. But what I like the most is that NAV seems to be more focused on his storytelling throughout this whole album, as he shares many stories of the hardships that he faced growing up, how he lost himself along the way at some point during his rise to fame. It happens to a lot of them, and pretty much trying to make amends with the people he may have hurt, family, friends, past lovers and whatnot. Those are the 3 sort of main themes that I gathered throughout this whole album. The production value on this album is a really big highlight for me, at least. As a lot of you know already, I am not that big into trap music. I don't really fuck with it. But NAV style of trap music is honestly super enjoyable. Like I said, a lot of the songs on here are super catchy and memorable, and I have no doubt that a lot of these songs are going to be played at fucking clubs and whatnot, at least when they all reopen until next year at this point. Let's be honest, it's gonna take till fucking next year at this point for shit to get back together. But yeah, I can definitely see these songs being played at clubs, because honestly a lot of these are a lot of fucking club bangers. I only have one problem with this album, and it really isn't NAV's fault at all. It's just there's 2 features on this album that I honestly didn't like, and I felt would have been better without them, and those are Future and Lil Uzi Vert. Future shows up on a song called My Business, and Lil Uzi Vert shows up on a song called Status. Those 2 songs I feel would have been a lot more better without their contribution. I don't really like Future. I never did. He had a few catchy songs, but he just kind of went downhill as the years went by, in my opinion, at least. I know a lot of people do like him, and I appreciate that. And little Uzi Vert, I just never really saw the hype over him in the first place. And, you know, I didn't bother hearing the new album, although I did have a lot of my close friends say that it's low-key kind of ass. That maybe there's like one track on his new album that is like decent, but the rest are kind of ass. So yeah, I just never saw the hype over him in the beginning. So yeah, those two features are the ones that I think would have been better off without them being there, and it would definitely have been a much more enjoyable album. But besides those two features that I didn't like, the other features on this album are actually really fucking great, and I'm gonna take a little bit of time to talk about a few of my favorite ones. Travis Scott and Don Toliver show up on this album to make a lot of catchy melodies with NAV. You know, Travis Scott shows up on a track called Turks, and Don Toliver makes an appearance on a song called Recap, and they both sound super fucking great next to NAV. You know, Travis Scott is my favorite trap artist of all time, and he is just super amazing, super talented. He never, like, disappoints anybody. You know, anything that man does is gonna be fucking great. And Don Toliver, like I said before in my Heaven or Hell review, you know, he is my currently new favorite artist of the new school. You know, he like impressed the fuck out of me in the fucking Jack Boys album, and then, you know, he showed up on Eminem's album this year, and then Heaven or Hell came out and it was fucking amazing, and now he is once again impressing the fuck out of me on this album with NAV. You know, he keeps on impressing me. You know, he hasn't fucking disappointed me yet, and honestly, his voice is just super unique, especially next to NAV. You know, I want these two to work together every time they make a new album now, because honestly, NAV and Don Toliver are a really, really great and amazing fucking duo. Gunna also makes an appearance on this album. You know, he shows up on the track Turks with Travis Scott, and he also shows up on a track called Codeine. And honestly, Gunna and NAV make a lot of like lyrical and really hardcore bangers together. You know, I don't really fuck with Gunna. You know, I don't think he's like as good on his own, I guess. But honestly, I think Gunna and NAV have that thing where like they've made so many like great and catchy songs together that they just will always like work well together. So yeah, I honestly did not mind Gunna's contribution to this album, because he honestly sounded really, really fucking good throughout all of it. And of course, we even get a little posthumous verse from the late Pop Smoke on a track called Run It Up. And that song just makes you wish that Pop Smoke didn't die like too young and too fucking soon, because honestly, this song showed the potential that Pop Smoke had. You know, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that I was a Pop Smoke fan, because I honestly didn't know who he was. I knew he dropped an album, and then, you know, that same month he like passed away like a few weeks later. You know, I think he got shot, and honestly, like, that just like made me sad only because, you know, he was very young. You know, he just like released his like debut studio album, and then, you know, it just got taken away like that. And, you know, this song just like, you know, made me like just wonder of like, you know, what if, you know, he honestly had a lot of potential. You know, his flow was really, really fucking good. You know, he was obviously super talented, and, you know, it's just the kind of song that makes you sad, especially if you have been a big fan of Pop Smoke for a very long time. And I can't believe I'm gonna say this, but fuck it, Young Thug was actually pretty dope on this album. You know, he shows up on a song called Spend It, and honestly, that song is so catchy. You know, I did not mind his voice at all. You know, he actually added a really good contribution to this album, and that will probably be the only time you will ever hear me say Young Thug and good in the same fucking sentence, okay? I do not like Young Thug's music at all. You know, I have said this many times already, and I'm pretty sure people are tired of hearing it, so I'll stop saying it. But yeah, even though I don't really fuck with Young Thug as much, I did not mind his contribution on this album. So yeah, shout out to you, Young Thug. But besides the incredible guest list throughout this whole album, NAV himself is the absolute biggest highlight for me. You know, he's shown a lot of growth. He's shown a lot of improvement on his flow, his production skills, on his singing voice. You know, just everything about him has improved so much, and I definitely enjoyed him on tracks by himself without any features. You know, when he shines on his own is when I truly enjoyed it, including songs like Brown Boy, St. Laurent, Overdose, Did You Wrong, My Space, Proud of Me. You know, there's probably a lot more that I can't think of. But yeah, NAV is the absolute biggest highlight on this album, and like I said, Good Intentions is a lot more better than Bad Habits. Honestly, I liked almost every single song on this album, and I can't really think or remember of one song that I did like from Bad Habits. You know, that's how good this album is for me. Overall, NAV is a really underappreciated artist in my opinion, and this album is living proof of the amount of great potential that he can provide for the rap game. You know, I know a few years back after his debut studio album entitled Reckless came out, he said something about wanting to retire and just wanting to quit music overall. And I'm really glad he didn't, because this album just showed just how talented he is, and, you know, why he shouldn't retire just yet. Because honestly, after this album is just going to go up from here. So, yeah, shout out to you, NAV. This album was really enjoyable, really fucking amazing. Better than Bad Habits. I've said that like 5 fucking times already, but it's true. And I highly recommend this one to all of you. All the EXO fans, all the non-EXO fans, to all the rap fans, the non-rap fans. You know, this is the album that you have to listen to at least once this year. So yeah, just like, please go give it a listen. You will not regret it, I promise. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed my review. Don't forget to like, subscribe, click that bell down below, all that good stuff, so you don't miss a single one of my uploads whatsoever. And don't forget to stay happy.
Cover your feelings, Saint Laurent. Girl, I'll buy you whatever you want. Pockets full of racks, can't fold them up. Pockets full of racks, can't